Hello, this video is about the order of operations. The order of operations tells us in which order to do the main operations that we have in algebra, which is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. We also have parentheses and exponents. So when we have all of these components in an expression or equation or inequality, we need to know what to do first and what to do next. And here the order of operations comes in very handy. We can use the acronym PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S, to remind ourselves what the order of operations is. And in this video, we will look at how to use the order of operations to do two things. One is to simplify any expression or equation or anything we get. So the first step is to simplify. And the second thing we can use the PEMDAS for is to solve the equations and inequalities. And we will be using this process in many of our equations and inequalities in algebra, in trigonometry, and in calculus. This process works in any math situations. So here is what we mean. When we discuss in algebra, what we look in algebra is we'll look at different functions. And as we mentioned earlier, the functions are polynomials, rational functions, exponential functions, logarithmic functions, and so on. So when we have functions, these functions also come with the inverse functions, which help us to reverse whatever the operations we have and cancel them. When we cancel the operations, we can undo everything that is hiding the x from us and get the x by itself. So this process works for equations, which will have the equal sign in them, and for inequalities, which will have less than or equal to, greater than, greater or equal to. So the two-step process for solving any equation and inequality is right here below. So first step is we simplify starting at the top, and we go through each step, and if it's true, then we will do it. If it's not true, or it's sometimes true, then we will not do it. So the first thing we do is we will do the parentheses. If we can simplify anything inside of it, then we will do it. Then we'll do exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Once we have done all of those, the expression that we started with is going to be as simple as possible. At that point, we will start at the bottom and work our way up to undo all the remaining operations. And we will use the inverse functions to do that. Now, when we look at this, multiplication and division, these are colored the same because they can be done in any order. Multiplication can be done before the division, or the division could be done before multiplication. Addition and subtraction are also colored the same for the same reason, because addition could be done before the subtraction or subtraction before addition. But addition should not be done before division, and addition should not be done before exponents, and so on. Also, these are colored the same because they're inverses of each other. So when we use step 2, we will use these that are colored the same to cancel the operations. So when we have a multiplication, to undo it, we divide both sides. When we have an addition, to undo it, we subtract the same number from both sides. To remember this acronym, parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract, we can remember any phrase that has the same front letters, such as please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which corresponds to the same front letters P, E, M, and so on. So remembering the phrase please excuse my dear Aunt Sally will help us to remember the parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. Any phrase with these letters would do. So if you like, you can create your own phrase that has the same letters, such as plan everything, my dear, and start. That has exactly the same letters as the PEMDAS. So it will help us to remember the order of operations. So now let's use this order of operations, the two-step process, to solve an equation. So here is an equation, and it has a few steps, a few things in it. And let's use the order of operations to go through it. So the first step is to simplify. So we begin with parentheses. So here is the order of operations. Once again, so we begin with parentheses. Inside the parentheses, Is there anything that we can do? No, because we don't know what x is, so we can't add it to the 1, because no matter, depends on what it is, the answer would be different. So we skip this step. Exponents. Do we have any exponents? The exponents are the little powers on the little numbers on top of other numbers or letters. So yes, we have exponents. So what is 2 to the third? 2 to the third is the same as 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So we can replace the 2 cubed with 8. The rest of the question is the same. So now we have finished our parentheses and exponents. The next thing is multiplication and division. So now we're here. Multiplication is between numbers and parentheses. So here is a multiplication. Multiplication is also between letters and numbers. So this is 3 times x. We can multiply through the 8 and simplify. So let's do that. 3 times x is already multiplied, so there is nothing else to do. 8 times x becomes 8x. 8 times 1 becomes 8. Minus 3x plus 5 is 8. Let's zoom in a little. So here we have finished the addition, the multiplication. There was no division in this question. So the next thing is, so we are done with parentheses, exponents, multiplication. There is no division. The next thing is addition, subtraction. So if the operation is always true, then we can add it. For example, 8 plus 5 will always be the same. So if we add 8 and 5, we will get 13 every single time. So we can do this addition. Also, 8x minus 3x will always be 5x, no matter what x is. So here we have our last operation concluded. We have done the addition, we have done subtraction. This is the end of simplification. At this point, we now start at the bottom, here at the bottom, and we reverse all the operations that are still present. And this way we will uncover the x. So here we have 2 operations left to undo. We have the multiplication and we have the addition. Following the order of operations in reverse, we come across the addition and subtraction first. So to cancel addition, we have plus 13. We used its opposite, which is the minus. And what we're doing to one side, we're doing to the other side. So we minus 13 from both sides. And that makes 5x equals to negative 5. And the last thing to do is to cancel multiplication. To do it, to cancel multiplication, we use its inverse, which is division. So we divide both sides by 5, and we get the x. X is negative 1. So that's our final answer. We have solved our equation using our 2-step process. We simplified, and then we reversed all the remaining operations and uncovered the x. And that's how the PEMDAS works. We can also check our answer using the calculator. So let us do that. So here is the graphing calculator, and we will make a picture of the left side is going to be our first equation. So let's type it in, 2 to the power 3, and then we have x plus 1, and then minus 3x plus 5, and then the other side is 8. So let's make a graph of it. Here is the left side, here is the right side, and we're looking for there's the right side, and we're looking for the place where the 2 sides are equal, and that's the place where they cross. So where do they cross? Let's use the calculate. Second, calculate, and we want to find the intersection between the 2 curves. Now it's going to, the calculator will ask us to mark the 2 curves that we are looking for. Is this one of them? Enter confirms, so enter is yes. Did I jump to the second curve? Yes, the blinker jumped to the second. Enter confirms. Would you like to guess? Notice that it's not asking for exact solution. It does not know what exact solution is. It can only approximate the answer. So yes, enter confirms. And the answer is negative 1. So the x answer is negative 1, exactly the same as what we have found by hand. So here we can use the calculator to double check our work on the test or the homework. And that's how to use the order of operations to solve an equation We will also use this method to solve inequalities and other things. So this is it for this video. If you have any questions on anything, please let me know. Thank you for your time. Take care.